Alright guys, welcome back to another video. This generation has been a huge shift in Xbox. Obviously, their entire strategy has completely changed. And I think this is something that's been leading up to Xbox for many years now, all the way back when they launched Game Pass. I feel like this was in the works, and now we're at a point where they have hit their stride, where they're going to really dive into the strategy of putting their games everywhere now that they have the content and studios to be able to make that type of content on a consistent basis. Big first party games, they're absolutely going to try to cash in and make back the $70 billion they spent on Activision, the billions they spent on Bethesda, and obviously try to make as much return on their investment whenever they develop a new game. We just saw the entire debacle of Concord, probably the biggest flop and failure in gaming history, or at least one of them. Upwards of 400 million, maybe even more, is being reported that they lost. I mean, the 400 million, from what I understand, is just in the development costs. It doesn't include a lot of the other things like the acquisition and everything that went in to getting Concord as a first party PlayStation game. So we are in a completely different era with the just insane amount of cost to develop games and how much harder it is to get a return on investment for these games. And one way to do that is the strategy that Xbox is leading with, being followed by PlayStation as well, if you really sit back and look at what PlayStation is doing. But it's putting your games on multi-platforms and giving people access on the devices that really they want to access those on. And we got an interview the other day between Bloomberg and Sarah Bonin, and she continues to talk about Xbox's strategy. You learn a lot about Sarah Bonin here, just in terms of where she comes from the business side of things, coming from T-Mobile, and it really makes you now start to see why I think they put her at such a high position. They want to expand out to mobile. She has that experience working at a mobile company and can try to gain more customers in spaces that Xbox really doesn't dominate in, again, is the mobile side of stuff. So that it makes a lot of sense when you look at everything that's been going on in the executive sides of Xbox and where they're definitely going to be going in the future with games like Candy Crush and Call of Duty Mobile, is trying to expand out their mobile side of gaming. But if you're somebody like me, I don't care. I couldn't care less about that. If they were to cut out all their mobile gaming section, I would not care at all. If for video games themselves, I don't really play mobile games. The only thing I like about what Xbox has done via mobile has been the cloud side of things, to being able to play your console games on your phone via the cloud, which I think is pretty cool. But actual legit mobile games, I don't play them. I don't care about them. And if you're an Xbox fan, which I am an Xbox fan, it's my main place where I play video games. I know this generation, you've seen a lot of people who were huge on Xbox at the beginning of a switch over to PC. And it makes complete sense, because on PC, you're getting PlayStation, you're getting Xbox, you're getting Steam, you're getting all the launchers. You're getting more games available on PC than you are getting by just buying a PlayStation or just buying an Xbox. So that makes complete sense. I have a PC, but I still mainly game on my Xbox. And the next generation, I am hoping that they continue to make consoles, like continue to make the Xbox. People still have that question, even though Sarah Bonin has come out previously and said that there will be another Xbox, and it's going to be the biggest technical leap in the history of Xbox. So it leads you to believe there's nothing to worry about on the console side of things. And I believe it. I think there definitely will be a console. We kind of have some more confirmation on that here in this article with some good statistics here. If you're wondering, will there be a next generation of hardware at Xbox, and what will that hardware be? I think it's going to be a console and a handheld. And this is what the article says here. It says there's reason to question whether Microsoft would want to build another Xbox. Console makers cannot count on profiting from hardware sales alone. Spencer said in 2022 that Microsoft loses between $100 and $200 per sale. And the company has also cut back on its ambitions to build other hardware, such as its HoloLens headsets and mobile devices. Now, that is where you would look at things and think, okay, if this business model isn't working, they want to expand out. Xbox is already available everywhere. Why would they build more hardware? And the answer is because they still sell millions, multiple millions, tens of millions of consoles every single generation. And I think it's up to like 200 million in total of console customers that they sell to. Sarah Bond says, or this from the article says, yet Bond has said there will be a new Xbox and the next generation of consoles will feature the largest technical leap you will have ever seen. And the flirtation with the idea of launching a handheld gaming device. The company has no commitment about this, but Spencer says that he tasked Bond with building a more diverse hardware future for Microsoft. So a handheld would just make a ton of sense going forward for Xbox. You take the handheld, give people access to their entire Xbox catalog. You have that integrated with the console, and it'll just take off. I think people will love to be able to take their entire console experience on the go, have their full catalog, and not just Game Pass games or not just cloud gaming games. I think that would just be an absolute no-brainer. And you take a look at what PlayStation is doing, because they're going to look at them as competition in the hardware side of things, and they're going to try to make something that is more appealing. PlayStation right now is the PS5 Pro coming out at $700. So when you think about taking a loss on each console, they're definitely taking less of a loss. And I think going forward into the next generation, Microsoft and Sony with PlayStation and Xbox are going to kind of be moving away from trying to take losses like the $100 or $200 per sale for each unit sold. I think they're going to try to reduce that as much as possible. You're seeing that with the $700 price tag of the PlayStation 5 Pro. And the reason for that is because, again, PlayStation, just like Xbox, they're selling their consoles to the same people over and over and over again, the people that love the consoles. And they know that they're going to go out there and buy those consoles no matter what. So why take a loss on every single unit sold? So I have a feeling the next generation, we're going to see that floor price, the starting of the generation, being $700, which is kind of unfortunate, I think, for a lot of people when you start to think about jumping into a console. I think it'll push even more people away from trying to get into the console space. And if you're somebody who just wants the best AAA gaming has to offer, you're more inclined at this point, I think, to save a bit more money and just build a better PC at that $700 price point, when you know in a few years it's going to be far less powerful and it's not going to be nearly as good as what you can get on the PC market. So we will see what happens with the prices of these next gen consoles. But if Xbox is planning to bring out their biggest technical leap ever, I think a $700 Xbox console could be something that we do see. And that will be crazy to see how that does affect the market and how many people want that, especially with something like the Nintendo Switch 2 that is going to be coming out. I'm thinking of $300, $400, max $500, which will be undercutting everything else out there and will more than likely be able to play the latest in AAA gaming. Obviously not anywhere near the resolutions and frame rates as to what you get on the Series X and the PS5 and the PS5 Pro and stuff, but I think it'll still be able to play those games. Now, with that being said, they also say here that she talks about a handheld device as another way to insert an Xbox specific experience into the lives of the future gamers whose habits have yet to be formed. And for Xbox to succeed, she says, it has to meet gamers where they are. She says, I want people to think no matter who you are, you can come to Xbox and find a game. So I think we're going to be seeing a 2 SKU Xbox next generation. The at-home console itself, because as much as people think that Xbox wants to kill off the consoles at this point, it would just be a terrible move. Maybe they do want to kill the consoles. Maybe they don't want to make Xbox hardware anymore. But now is not the time, because they still have a healthy enough consumer base of people playing consoles. Let's say they sell 50 million between the Xbox Series X and S this generation. Yes, it'll be far less than the PlayStation 5, but it's still 50 million consumers, 50 million people with the potential to go and spend money into the Xbox store. It's still a healthy enough market, in my opinion, to consider supporting producing consoles. And if they go into the next gen, they release a hardware of a stay-at-home box, which is extremely powerful, even if it's like $700. And then they also release a handheld for like $300 or maybe $400 or something that is a console experience. And they end up selling like 50, 60, 70 million in total. I think we'll still see hardware in the generation after that. There's no way they're going to cut that off and just stop providing customer service and games and all that stuff to people who are technically your most loyal customers. Because if you're playing Xbox games on Xbox hardware, those are by far your true fan base and by far your most loyal customers to the brand, because they could easily be going somewhere else, not give you the money for the hardware, give money to another company for the hardware, but then still go ahead and purchase your games and your services and all that. Not that Xbox really will care that much, but at the same time, they want everyone to probably double dip more so than anything, get the hardware and get their games. They know it's unrealistic, and they know that they have to be able to compete by putting their games in other places. So the future of Xbox, I think, is very, very interesting. For PlayStation side of things, I think they're just going to kind of continue to do what they do. But I still think they're going to be putting more games on PC, maybe more games day and date on PC, more games on the Nintendo Switch, all of that type of stuff. But Xbox is where I think there's going to be questions as we get through the end of this generation. When are they going to start this generation, especially if they are going to be releasing a handheld? Will they want to start it earlier as something like in 2026 and get ahead of the curve here? Because now we're hearing with the PlayStation 6, that thing may not even be coming until 2028 with the release of the PS5 Pro coming up. So I just wanted to give some thoughts here on this Sunday, just kind of have a discussion about Xbox consoles, everything going on for the future of Xbox, because I think there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about. And yeah, we will continue to talk about the news this upcoming week. But if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up. Make sure to share the video around. It really does help get the channel out there. Like it, all that stuff. And I'll thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.